Hi guys, and welcome to Cultnomics. My name is Paul Hanley, and today I'm going to be chatting to you about the effects of Brexit on sterling. In this video, we're going to look at the impact of Brexit on sterling. And as before, in the previous video, we look at a demand and supply model of exchange rates in order to do this. The supply curve is upward sloping, the demand curve is downward sloping. We've indicated an equilibrium point at point A where the exchange rate is £1 sterling gives you €1, and at that there is 100 million, we'll put in here, of sterling out on the market, and that's the quantity of sterling. So what happened post Brexit is a lot of uncertainty in the UK economy. This uncertainty caused two things. One, the central bank reacted by dropping the interest rate in order to stimulate the economy. So interest rates fell in the UK economy. We can denote that as I, and I interest rate falling. And because the interest rate fell and because of the uncertainty, also there was a lot of outflows of investment. So investment decreased in the UK economy, and in fact it flowed out to other countries, including Ireland and Luxembourg in the euro area. Now, both of these effects caused the supply and demand for sterling to shift. So a decrease in the interest rate will mean that there is an extra supply of sterling out on the market. So what happens here is, because the interest rate drops, large investors and pension investments and so on will go to the area with the highest interest rate. If the UK's interest rate is decreasing, well then these investors and pension companies will transfer their money outside of Britain into other countries. Hence they will need to supply more sterling onto the market, so the supply increases, so they can demand other currencies and set up in other currencies and regions such as the euro area. So with the interest rate dropping, what we had was an increase in the supply of sterling traded in international markets, so that investors could demand, for example, euros. So we have a rightward shift of the supply curve. At the same time, we had investment leaving the UK, so we had outflows of investment, and what this meant was there was decreased demand for sterling. So decreased demand for sterling can be represented by a leftward shift of the demand curve down here, and in this case we can mark that in as D2 as opposed to D1, and previously we had S1 and now we have S2. So we have two effects of the Brexit referendum. We have an extra supply onto the market of sterling, and we also have a reduction in the demand for sterling. Both of these effects will tend to weaken the currency or depreciate it, and in our case here the depreciation goes down to point B, and at point B we can see now that the pound sterling is weaker. So £1 sterling is now no longer getting us the euro. We'll say it's only getting us maybe 80 cents in terms of a euro, and that represents a weakening of the currency. There is still the same amount on the market as such as indicated by this diagram, but definitely a depreciation of the currency, and these are down to the two effects of, in our case, investment outflows and interest rates decreasing in that country. I hope you call back to Cultnomics soon. Bye for now.